Now, here on Breakfast, we only ever bring you the news that we are very, very sure about. But this next story, is it a definitely or is it a maybe? Who knows, Ben?
What's so fascinating about this, none of this confirmed, and it stopped no one speculating on when the reunion might be, how much it might make, how many dates there will be, and when tickets will go on sale. So let me explain, Sally. Thanks very much. Yes, Oasis fans hoping that this morning they will hear the news that they've been waiting for years, that the legendary band are getting back together. Brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher both teasing an announcement. It is due at 8 o'clock this morning. Now, Oasis, of course, formed in 1991, rising to fame with hits including Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger and Live Forever. In 1994, the band released their chart-topping album, Definitely Maybe, helping to kick off the Brit-pop era and propel them to mega-stardom. In 1996, an incredible 2.5 million people applied for tickets to their 2 dates at the Nebworth Festival. It is well documented, though, that the brothers had a pretty tough relationship. And in 2009, a backstage fight led to Noel leaving the band. Since then, fans have longed for a reunion. Here's a reminder of some of their biggest hits.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly.
Nothing anybody does can be as big as Oasis. Not Coldplay, not Kasabian, not the Arctic Monkeys. In this country, not U2, not any of them. It's as simple as that.
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
There's only so many like olive branches you can give someone, you know what I mean, without sort of going, oh, actually, I don't think he really cares anymore.
Fire in your heart is out.
What do you miss about him?
Just being in a band, man, having a crack with him, you know what I mean?
About him?
Oh, having a banter and just having a laugh and just all that stuff, you know what I mean? But there you go, that's life, isn't it?
But don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say.
It's the delivery or the tone of his voice and the attitude. I don't have the same attitude as him. The voice is an instrument. And it's the same thing with the Bee Gees. When you get two brothers singing together, it's something that you can't, it's unique.
Is that what we're going to hear this morning?
I'm so excited.
8 o'clock?
But I don't want to get too excited. It could all be a massive letdown. Maybe they're just going to re-release the album, you know, with like a gold cover on it or something like that.
They could also say they're going to do it and then fall out and change their minds.
Also
As our
true.
culture correspondent Charlotte Gallagher is here with us to explain. Come on, Charlotte, what's actually happening?
I think we can almost say with complete certainty that they are going to go back on the road. They are reforming. I don't think they do this to fans, basically get them so excited and then let them down. I mean, one person said to the BBC she hadn't slept. She was so excited. She wasn't going to sleep until the announcement at 8 o'clock this morning because it's been 15 long years for Oasis fans. They were last on stage together in 2009. And I think if they do reform, it's looking like they're going to, they're almost certainly going to do shows in Manchester. Because if they don't do shows in Manchester, it would be like if the Beatles reformed and they didn't play Liverpool. They're from Manchester, they're so linked to the city. And the Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, has been telling us what he thinks.
Well, it's the news we've all been waiting for. It promises to be a massive day for Manchester. But you know what? It would be the most Noel and Liam thing ever if one of them woke up this morning and decided they'd had a change of heart. I really, really hope that doesn't happen. It feels like this time it is going to come together. And as I say, it's going to be huge for our city region.
We don't even know any details yet, do we? But already they're talking about records being broken in how many dates there might be here in Manchester. If they played Wembley, more dates than Taylor Swift, perhaps.
Exactly. So then she'll have to announce another tour, won't she? And break the Oasis record.
Yes.
But Andy Burnham has a really good point. They have such a tempestuous relationship. They've not been on stage together because they had this huge bust-up backstage in Paris in 2009. But it looks like, for now at least, they've buried the hatchet, they've moved on, They're probably going to go back on stage together, but also there is that huge financial incentive. People are talking about £400 million from this tour. I mean, Noel Gallagher once said it would take him £500 million to get back on stage with his brother. I mean, Liam has insulted him so many times on social media. He's called Noel Gallagher a potato, for example. So, obviously, they've buried that hatchet. It looks like
worse.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the words I could say on breakfast television. So, looks like they are going to be back on stage. Are you going to get tickets?
Yes.
Who knows?
I mean, we'll be in the queue.
Yes.
I mean, this is what then will be the issue of like who can get hold of the tickets, and this will be for a whole new generation of fans, won't it? Because people who weren't around 30 years ago for that debut album.
So there'll be loads of people that'll have just probably heard them on Spotify. They'll have never even bought a CD, for example, and they'll be going to an Oasis concert for the first time. And then they'll have their fans that have been with them right from the beginning, from the mid-90s, that have been waiting so long for this reunion. I mean, when they played Nebworth in '96, 2.5 million people applied for tickets. And I think in this case, there's going to be millions more that are going to try and get tickets for these gigs, if they happen.
If they happen.
Charlotte, stay with us, because we are expecting news in the next hour and a half.
8 o'clock, we will bring it to you right here. We'll see you soon. Yeah. On to wait, because 15 years since...
But what for? What are we...
Very good point, actually. We don't quite know what we're waiting for anyway, but we think we know. Because 15 years since Oasis split, fans of the Gallagher brothers are hoping that a reunion could be on the cards. They're expected to make the announcement in 19 minutes from now.
Yes, with rumours of possible shows in London and in Manchester. We've been speaking to the Mayor of Greater Manchester and Oasis fan.
Oh, he is.
Yes, Andy Burnham, about what he makes of it all.
Well, it's the news we've all been waiting for. It promises to be a massive day for Manchester, but you know what? It will be the most Noel and Liam thing ever if one of them woke up this morning and decided they'd had a change of heart. I really, really hope that doesn't happen. Feels like this time it is going to come together, and as I say, it's going to be huge for our city region.
Talk to me about what this means for Manchester and what it means not only for people here, but for the city as a whole.
Well, it's just going to be one of the biggest things that we will have seen in recent times. You know, Manchester's having a moment right now, but this development will take us to the next level. The eyes of the world will be on Manchester in 2025 because of this. You know, everyone will be talking about and celebrating all things to do with the city. And it's just going to be the place to be. You know, as I say, we're already in a great moment, but this will make it even better. And, you know, I'm pleased for the generation who never got to see them live. You know, this is a big thing for them because Oasis have been the soundtrack to their lives. They are the ultimate British guitar band. And for that generation to see them perform live, well, that's absolutely brilliant. But, you know, the person I'm most pleased for of all, and by far the most important Gallagher, is Peggy Gallagher. And she gets to see her sons on stage again, which will just be brilliant for her.
Manchester has a brilliant legacy of musical greats, doesn't it? Where would you put Oasis in that range of talent that this city has produced?
I mean, we could go through them, couldn't we? I was watching Johnny Marr playing Smith songs in Wythenshawe Park on Saturday night, and that was phenomenal. New Order came on after, and they probably, I would say, are the Manchester band who I would, you know, look to most and kind of feel that they've been relevant through the generations. But probably Oasis became the ultimate. You know, they drew on all of that heritage through the 80s, particularly the Stone Roses, and then kind of brought it all together and have created the music that's had most impact around the world. So, you know, in terms of impact, you would absolutely say Oasis. And I just hope, actually, that 2025 becomes a moment when we can celebrate the new as well. Manchester sometimes perhaps has a tendency to talk about its past glories. But I think the great thing about the big bands of the past playing now is that they give a spotlight to the up-and-coming Manchester bands. And I'm sure Noel and Liam will take this opportunity to give them a leg up as well.
And when bands reform in the way we're expecting Oasis to announce this morning, they open that back catalogue up, don't they, to a whole new generation of fans. what would a new fan, imagine a fan has never heard of Oasis, and they're going to be introduced to them for the first time, maybe at a concert in Manchester next year. How would you describe Oasis, and also what should they be looking out for?
I would describe them as the ultimate British guitar band. That's what they are, aren't they? They create proper, what you might call rock and roll. This is music that gets you going, and you can just picture the scenes, can't you? Those crowds bouncing, people singing every word. They have provided the soundtrack to many people's lives. They've been huge, to be honest. To see them back together, I think will be absolutely fantastic. I mean, not just for us. I've heard London nightlife is struggling somewhat, so I'm a little bit proud that two lads from Manchester are giving London a lift too. Yeah, and if that record run of dates comes to fruition, it really will make a big contribution to the city, won't it? Look, and Andy, I know you're a fan, aren't you? You've been known to perform some of their songs when you've been out and about.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do without you now.
Favourite track?
I have. Well, the one that I have performed actually at my 50th, Half the World Away. Some might say it's not the most, not the biggest blockbuster of the Oasis songs, but it's something of a Northwest anthem, and I think anyone who grew up here kind of would relate to it. But Live Forever, Slide Away. I mean, there's so many. You could just keep going, couldn't you? And I think people will all be doing this today. Lots of people around the country will be going through that back catalogue and picking out the ones they love the most. But there's such a catalogue to choose from, and I actually just think this is going to be a magnificent moment for British music, and let's celebrate this industry. Let's use 2025 to do that. Music is one of the things that Britain still does better than any other country in the world, in my view, but we don't seem to celebrate this industry as much as we should. So let's take this moment, reflect on what British music means to us, celebrate it, but as I said before, use it to bring on the new as well.
Andy Burnham, really good to talk to you this morning. Let's wait and see what happens at 8 o'clock. Thank you, though. Good to talk to you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Andy Burnham talking to me a little earlier. And as I said, 8 o'clock, 13 minutes from now, we will find out and we will let you know what that news is. Might be good, bad, indifferent.
Who knows?
It better not just be a new album. It's sort of re-released album.
No, it can't be. It's got to be tour dates.
30 years since that debut album this year. So all the kind of signs are good, aren't they?
Let's see. We'll be telling you in about, not just a few minutes' time.
Yeah.
Our main story. In the last few moments, the band Oasis has announced a UK and Ireland tour next year with gigs in Manchester, Cardiff, London, Edinburgh and Dublin.
Hot off the press. This is it. This is the confirmation so many people have been waiting for, that long-awaited reunion. Of course, famous for their hits like Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger. The band split in 2009. So let's talk to our culture correspondent, Charlotte Gallagher, who's with us. Charlotte, finally the confirmation.
Yeah.
A lot of speculation, a lot of rumour. This is it. It's
I'm so glad they've announced it and we've not all just been saying it was going to happen and then they said, we're going to reissue an old album, guys. But no, there's going to be 14 dates. There's going to be 4 at Heaton Park in Manchester, 4 at Wembley, 2 in Edinburgh, 2 in Dublin, 2 in Cardiff. And I think, let's be honest, if they sell out Wembley 4 dates, they're going to add more, aren't they? I think they could well want to break Taylor Swift's record. Also Glastonbury. Could they add Glastonbury? So they're going to be on tour in July and August next year. So a headliner slot at Glastonbury. Tickets on sale on the 31st of August.
My favourite bit of this as well in the statement they've put out, and there's a lot in it. They say tickets, crucially, by the way, everyone needs to know, will go on sale on Saturday at 9 a.m. online, so you can find those. But they say Oasis's legend has only been amplified in their absence. So they've kept us all waiting.
Did Liam write that?
Yeah, we love this. It's great PR, isn't it? But obviously, in the statement that we've just had in the last few moments, they are only fanning the flames, basically, aren't they? The anticipation. They say, what it's like. They talk about the roar that greets them as they step on stage. It's a live experience, unlike anything else. Spine-tingling sensation of being in a crowd, singing back every word. I mean, hopes are very high.
Yeah, I mean, they're not shy about self-promotion, are they? But, I mean, they are two, obviously, there's more than two members of Oasis, but Liam and Noel Gallagher are amazing performers. They're amazing musicians. I'm pretty sure we can say now that these concerts are going to sell out. I mean, it's been 15 years since Oasis were back on the stage. You know, it was 2009, that was their last gig. They had this huge bust-up in Paris, and they've not performed together since then. Liam's always been quite open about the fact that he wanted to reform Oasis, and it was always known that Noel was kind of the sticking point, and he wasn't that sure about it. He said once it would take £500 million for him to get back on stage with his brother and perform with Oasis. But, I mean, this round of tour, this concerts, you could actually make that kind of money. I mean, this is how bands make their money now. They don't make as much money selling records because most people stream music, so they make a lot of money by going on tour. And like I said, I could well see them adding more dates to this, more Wembley dates, more Heaton Park dates, a Glastonbury headliner slot. I'm sure Glastonbury are looking at this and thinking, let's get Oasis here next year.
Charlotte, thanks very much. Oasis fans have finally got the news they have been hoping for this morning, as the legendary band have announced that 15 years after splitting, they're getting back together for a UK and Ireland tour next summer. Formed back in 1991, the group rose to fame with hits including Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger and Live Forever. And in 1994, the band released their chart-topping album, Definitely Maybe, helping to kick off the Britpop era and propel them to megastardom. In 1996, an incredible 2.5 million people applied for tickets for their two dates at Nebworth. Now, it's well documented that the brothers have a challenging relationship, and in 2009, a backstage fight led to Noel leaving the band, and since then, fans have longed for a reunion. Well, now, finally, they've got it. Here's a look at some of their biggest hits.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly.
Nothing anybody does can be as big as Oasis. Not Coldplay, not Kasabian, not the Arctic Monkeys. In this country, not U2, not any of them. It's as simple as that.
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
There's only so many like olive branches you can give someone, you know what I mean, without sort of going, actually, I don't think he really cares anymore.
Fire in your heart is out.
What do you miss about him?
Just being in a band, man, having a crack with him, you know what I mean?
About him?
Having a banter and just having a laugh and just all that stuff, you know what I mean? But there you go, that's life, isn't it?
Don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say.
It's the delivery or the tone of his voice and the attitude. I don't have the same attitude as him. The voice is an instrument. And it's the same thing with the Bee Gees. When you get two brothers singing together, it's something that you can't, it's unique.
So good. Those songs are so good. Music journalist John Robb is with us. Morning. So the news a lot of people were waiting for. How excited are you?
Well, I think everyone's excited. It's well, not because you always get the haters as well, don't you? But generally, most people are really excited because it's a great pop moment, isn't it? They are a great rock and roll band, and it's great that we got pop music getting talked about of this kind of type of pop music talked about on mainstream telly. It's great, isn't it?
And there's a sort of nostalgia about it as well. I mean, 30 years since that debut album, 15 years since they split. It was a different time. Just looking at some of those videos, it looks ancient, doesn't it? You know, it reminds us of a different period.
But I think that's the power of it. I think nostalgia is a big part of pop culture, and that's kind of OK as well, because pop culture is old, isn't it, as well? And I think because they're such a generational defining band, a lot of people I was speaking to were a little younger than me. It's a big moment. This is a moment in their lives when everything felt possible. You know, the Oasis song "Live Forever," which is such a fantastic title. Actually, it's quite, in 2 words, it's quite poetic. That the power of pop music to soundtrack a moment in your life when you were completely free, that for 30, 40, 50 years afterwards is always going to take you back to that moment, isn't it?
And John, in that little piece we just played, we saw Noel Gallagher, 2 little clips of Noel Gallagher. That was an interview that you have just done in the last few days with him. Did you get any insight at that point?
Well, the interview was done 8 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was
and it was
more recently
posted
than
last
that.
Thursday.
Oh, right, OK.
Yeah, and when it was posted, people were going, oh, this is very different. This seems like the way Noel was talking about Liam, the way he was talking about the band.
Very nice about him.
Oh, very nice about him. And when I did the interview, I didn't want the kind of, you know, the anger and the kind of Mickey taking that had been going on for years. I wanted the real Noel, and that is the real Noel. He's a really nice, sharp, intelligent guy, and you can see that in the interview. Now, watching it back, you think, oh God, it's really obvious, isn't it? Now, watching what he's saying there, but there was no. He didn't just walk in and go, yeah, we're going to reform the band, because that wasn't part of the conversation at that point in time.
So we've got the dates. We know where the gigs will be. We know tickets go on sale on Saturday, 9 o'clock. Who will be buying those tickets?
A lot of people, I think.
So will they be the die-hard fans of, you know, the 90s and the early noughties, or will there be a new generation? Because I was looking, they've got, you know, millions of fans on Spotify, people who've only ever streamed their songs, never bought a CD or an album, people who were not around when they were at the height of their fame. There's a new market here, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I think when you become a classic band, and very few bands get to that space, you just go through the generations. I think at the end of the day, the songs are so good, and I mean, obviously melodically really good, but they have an emotional clout as well that makes sense to somebody whether they're 12 or 70, you know, and they're one of the few bands that have done that, slipped through the generations. You go to the gigs, even to this day, like Noel or Liam's gigs, and there's a big teenage... a lot of teenagers go to them as well. And I always say that's because Liam is a brilliant teenager, and his Twitter feed is a fantastic piece of like teenage pop culture. Isn't it? The way he replies to people with no filter, which I think is great as well, because so many people in pop music are very careful about what they say. Yep. Both Noel and Liam have never been careful about what they say, which is part of the appeal, isn't it?
John, I'm sure lots of people who are watching this morning, they've got 2 big questions. One is, where are the gigs? 2 is, how do we get to go? So, I mean, there's quite a lot to choose from so far, maybe more to come, but we've got Cardiff, Manchester, London, Edinburgh, Dublin. They are travelling about, aren't they? All between the 4th of July up until the 17th of August currently. How on earth are people going to get their hands on these tickets?
Well, I think on Saturday when the tickets go up, it's just going to be basically a landslide. Everyone's just trying to get tickets all at once. But I'm sure there'll be other dates getting added on as this goes on.
Do you think so? Glastonbury, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I think, well, Noel was at Glastonbury this year. I think Glastonbury would be great. But that's not a gig for the fans, is it? Glastonbury sells its own tickets to its own people. But the Saturday night Glastonbury, the Oasis headliner, would be a classic gig, wouldn't it? But there'll be other stuff. And I can imagine this will go out to a world tour, wouldn't it?
One thing that really strikes me from the announcement that they've just made in the last 20 minutes or so is there's like a little poem in the middle of it where someone has written, "The guns have fallen silent, the stars have aligned, the great wait is over, come see," and then key, "It will not be televised."
Oh, that's an interesting little quote. Well, what
Really?
about Glastonbury? Yeah, Glastonbury's...
Yeah, really?
I'm not sure if that means exactly what it says, though, does it?
Oh.
Yeah. I thought you were going to read those out in a sort of a Liam kind of voice. You know, you could sort of create your own Oasis song live on TV as you go along.
I don't do a very good Liam impression, I don't think. No.
They do talk, though, about, you know, the hype and the kind of the excitement being built by that absence. And that's true, isn't it? I mean, the fact that we've not seen them on stage for so long together, the moment that they come together on that stage for the first time, those first concerts in Cardiff, aren't they? That'll be quite electric. That's before they even get here to a home crowd in Manchester. Oh, yeah, I mean, it will be, of course, it'll be electric, that's a given. But the gap also adds to it as well, and it's perfect timing in it as well. I think to me, like Noel Gallagher is a brilliant pop music. He understands how it works. You know, you have to do things exactly the right time, in the right way, and that's what it is. And doing it last year or the year before would be too early. Doing it next year would be too late. This is the moment, isn't it? The cash will probably help, though, right? The paper's suggesting 400 million quid at stake here. Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? People do get paid a lot of money at the top, don't they? That's kind of how it works, isn't it? Yeah. But I think I mean, obviously the money will be a factor in reforming, but I don't think it's purely for the money. I think if you've got something that's really magical and there's a chemical to it, you know, a chemistry to it, like those 2 brothers playing together in a room,
is a powerful thing, and for them as well, not just for people watching it, but for them to be back together with whatever the lineup of the band is and who's actually in the band. Noel and Liam playing together in a space would be really exciting, just like they were all those years ago back at Manchester Boardwalk when they rehearsed. It did sound pretty amazing even then. Yeah.
John, great to see you. Thank you so much. I'm sure we will talk again. There's also that little bit of jeopardy, isn't there, about whether or not they're going to get on.
Yeah, because there's a long...
Stay friends.
There's a long way until those first dates next year.
The volatile nature of their relationship is part of the excitement, isn't it?
I wonder if we'll hear rumours of rehearsals and things like that before they kick off next.
I'm sure they'll rehearse at least once.
Yeah, I hope so.
Who knows?
Never done that before. John, thanks. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
In the last hour, the band Oasis has announced a UK and Ireland tour next year with gigs in Manchester, Cardiff, London, Edinburgh and Dublin. It's after both Gallagher brothers fueled speculation online they were planning a long-awaited reunion.
Yeah, famous, of course, for their hits like Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger. It'll be the band's first performance together since they split in 2009. Let's talk about the significance with our culture correspondent, Charlotte Gallagher. Charlotte, morning.
No relation, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good point.
I'm not in the pocket of Big Gallagher. I didn't get the exclusive.
Inside track.
They're not paying me to be here.
You
and I
might
don't
be.
get
You
free
just
to-
don't know. You might be like a long-lost cousin.
I'll have to do the family tree.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of cousins. I know that.
I would love that, but also you'd have known that because I wouldn't have stopped talking about how I was related to
Also
Liam
true.
and Noel Gallagher.
That said, important day, because
It is
it's been a
huge.
lot of speculation.
Yeah.
Finally, the confirmation, it didn't disappoint. And a lot of people are like, what's the hype? Why are we making
Yeah.
such a big deal of it? It's important, isn't it?
There are so many Oasis fans out there that have waited 15 years for their favourite band to get back together. They had this huge bust-up in 2009 backstage in Paris and didn't end up going on stage, right? There's also this new generation of fans, some of whom weren't even born when Oasis last played, but they listened to them on streaming sites and they're going to be wanting tickets as well. They're one of Britain's biggest guitar groups, biggest bands of the generation. They've sold millions of records, won multiple awards, and they've also made it across the world. You know, I imagine they're going to want to do more dates, Europe, North America, South America.
It's interesting that we have this morning called it a world tour, but it's currently
it's UK and Ireland, but it's anticipated perhaps that they will want to play outside of the UK and Ireland.
They may be seeing how they get on.
I think so, yeah, both in terms of ticket sales, although I don't really think they need to worry about that. I think when those tickets go on sale on the 31st, they're going to sell out, but possibly more so about how they get on in terms of the fact how the brothers' relationship goes. They've had this really tempestuous relationship. They've both said quite a lot about each other in the press. Like Noel, for example, called Liam the angriest man you'll ever meet. He said he was a fork in a world of soup. And I don't know what that means. It's quite funny, though. And that Liam called Noel a potato, right? So, and there's some of the things I can say on breakfast television. So they...
Fairly typical family stuff.
Yeah,
really, isn't it?
exactly. It's the kind of thing I would probably say to my brother, but probably, you know, I wouldn't say it to a newspaper. So, like, they have fallen out very publicly. They're back together, and I guess there will be a fear.
Do you think they can stay friends for a year till the first of these concerts?
Do you know what? They're older now, aren't they? They're older.
That means
they're
nothing in
wiser.
family disputes.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking they're going to try the hardest, aren't they? Because this is going to make them hundreds of millions of pounds potentially. And if they fall out, who's going to cover that? Maybe the insurers will have a clause saying, if you fall out and you don't go on stage, we're not going to cover the cost. So I think they'll want to stay together for the tour and also for their fans as well. People are talking about Glastonbury. It's not on at the moment, but people are saying it could happen. But they've just released a video kind of promoting the tour, and it looks pretty exciting.
Let's have a look.
Me and him are like telepathic, you know what I mean? I know my brother better than anybody else. When both come together, you have greatness. We made people feel something that was indefinable.
What's the betting that everybody today is listening to that?
Yeah, I did listen to Wonderwall on my way into work this morning. I mean, I think loads of people have their favourite Oasis song, don't they? They have their favourite Oasis song, their favourite Oasis karaoke song. Lots of people are going to be listening to them today. I imagine their numbers on streaming sites are going to jump massively.
For the next year.
Yeah.
Charlotte, thank you so much. Thank you. got nothing on this lot.
No.
Because as we've been
George
hearing
does
this
not
morning...
have a sell-out to it
No, exactly.
before the tickets even go on sale.
Oasis are back together, but I think you probably know that by now. And lots of you have been sending us your messages, reacting to this news. We have this from Paula, who's in Lincolnshire, who is determined to get tickets because look what she's got. She's got her original tickets from Nebworth from 1996, and she has said, I bet this time around they're going to cost a little bit more.
And can we just end on the most amazing message from Bren? She says, come on, boys, I'm a mank lass, I'm 81, I can't wait for much longer. I won't be able to totter to a gig. I'd just love to hear you again. So do it for Bren. 81-year-old Bren is well excited.
I reckon Bren might get a ticket now.
Oh, definitely. She should do. Enjoy, Bren.